Greetings everyone, I'm Jeremy from jeremysfinancialtips.com. Today I wanted to show you how to do a loan amortization schedule in Excel. This could be for loans or for mortgages. They are pretty much one and the same. You're going to want to create a field for your loan amount in dollars. You're going to want an APR field, that's the annual percentage rate. And you're going to want a term or a number of years that you're going to be paying on this loan or mortgage. And to make this reusable, I like to highlight fields in yellow to say that these are input fields and then put borders around them. And now you are ready to set up your columns. You're going to have a period, and this will just be the first payment, the date of that loan or mortgage. You're going to have a beginning balance. You're going to have the interest that has accrued in that payment period. We can spell that out. You're going to have the principal. And then you will have an ending balance. So the period, we're just going to put in an arbitrary date. Let's do January 1st, 14. Why can't I get that right? There we go. The beginning balance for the first row here is actually just going to be set to the loan amount that you specify here. So let's say equals, and what I'm going to do here is use a dollar sign preceding the column D and a dollar sign preceding the row 2. What that does is it will lock in that cell. So if you were to copy and paste that cell anywhere else, then it would maintain the value of D2. And just to show you as an example, if I copy this down here, that still remains D2, and that's not going to say that it was whatever that difference is there. That's besides the point. So let's put in a loan amount. Let's just say $10,000. And we will set this to a dollar amount. The APR, we're going to put in a percent. Let's just do 4.5. And you see how that rounded up to 5 when the actual value in here still says 4.5. That's because it's not showing the decimal points, decimal places, excuse me. So we can expand those out. And we'll say this is a 5-year loan. Set that to a dollar amount. Now to calculate the interest, because this is an APR, we actually have to divide 4.5% by 12. Because there are 12 months in a year, and this is a 4.5% year loan. So to get that, we would take the beginning balance, we'll say equals, and you can just click on cells to actually select B7 there. I don't have to look and cross-reference the row with the column every time. So B7 times the 4.5%, and again we're going to want to precede these with dollar signs, so that it's always going to use the cell D3, divided by 12, and enter. And I actually forgot the multiplication sign there. So we can see that's 37.5. Make that a dollar amount. So of $10,000, there's going to be $37.50 of interest in that part. Now there's actually a few other steps we have to do here first. Step 1 is, how do you know what the payment is going to be? There is actually a built-in function in Excel called the payment function that lets you determine that amount. So we can say right here, let's make this payment, yellow with a border. Actually, we don't want to make that yellow because it's not truly an input field, so let's make it blue to let the user know that this is a calculated field. Now to get to the equals payment function, to get to the payment function, put in equals PMT. And then you can see this little tooltip comes up that says, calculates the payment for a loan based on a constant payment and a constant interest rate, which is what we have here. So we can open parentheses to get the rate, and the rate is going to be the 4.5% divided by 12. It's unfortunate that that doesn't actually calculate it for you, but it makes sense because you might not be paying one per month. You could pay multiple payments per month, and then it would be calculated slightly different. The number of periods is going to be 5 times 12 because there are, obviously, 12 months in a year. 5 times 12. The present value of the loan, and this would be this right here, the initial amount. And then these last two fields, the FV, the future value, and the type, we don't actually need those for a constant payment. So the payment comes up negative, but we're going to actually want to convert that to a positive number to make it a little bit more clear as to what you're doing with that payment. So on the end of this, we're just going to multiply that by -1. Remember from those math days where you multiply anything by -1 to get the positive value if it's a negative, or if it's positive, you'll get a negative, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So the principal in this column here is going to represent the payment minus the interest. So we can say equals minus F2. And we'll use the dollar signs again so we maintain that cell. I'm terribly sorry, I've screwed that up. What I actually meant to do there was flip those around. So we want that amount minus C7. There we go. So the ending balance is going to be the beginning balance minus the principal. So out of a $186.43 payment, $37.50 went towards interest, and then $148.93 went towards the principal, giving us an ending balance of $9,851.07. So now for the next month, we can say 2/1/14, and then we can set the beginning balance to the ending balance from the previous row. So we'll just say equals, and then click on the cell E7. And now for interest, we should just be able to use the fill feature to calculate what the interest amount is for $98.51, and the same with the principal. So now you can see that more money is going towards principal and less is going towards interest. And our ending balance is reflected. So we can do this one more time. And I'll show you a cool trick here with dates. If you've got a pattern of dates established, in this case we have 1/1/2014 and 2/1/2014. If I highlight both of those, Excel recognizes that that is a pattern. So now we can use the fill function, which is by seeing this little plus show up in the bottom right hand corner of cells that you have selected, and you can just click and drag that all the way down. And we've dragged that out a year. And I'll make that a little bit larger so you can see the dates. So now for this one, we're going to set the previous balance again. You can drag these both down, and then this. And now we can take the entire row and drag those down. So you can see that more and more is going towards principal, less and less towards interest. So now that we have the first year established, let's try to make this a little bit prettier. We'll bold these columns, maybe center them, and then we'll put some borders around, just to make it a little bit clearer. So now we can actually take this entire year. Well, we don't have to take the whole year. We can take just any number of columns and fill these down. So you can see now we're in 2016. We have 4,271 remaining, and we can continue on until we're at 0. So at the end of 2018, this $10,000 loan is completely paid off. So, of course, now that you have these up here, you can feel free to change the numbers and make it 15,000. You can see the payment goes up to 279. Got to increase the width of these columns. But the payment is paid off in the same, the total amount is paid off in the same time frame because it is a 5-year loan. So what if we changed this to a mortgage? Let's say it's a 30-year mortgage, and this amount is actually $150,000. You see the monthly payment is $760. And we'll need to drag this out even further because we're doing so many more months. And how far does this go down? Looks like the end of 2043 is when that gets paid off. So we can delete these final two rows because I dragged it too far. There's a number of other things you can add in here to make this a little bit more friendly. You can add an accumulated interest column so you can see how much interest you paid throughout the course of the loan. Accumulated principal. You can add a column for extra payments. So if you wanted to put a little bit extra on a certain time frame and then have that reflect on the principal and the interest and the ending balance. But this is just the beginner's lesson, so I might cover that at a later video. So thank you for watching.